Today for Unit 12, Lesson 1, we are talking about probability. Today we're talking about likelihood of something happens. So likelihood is like, is it likely to happen? What's the chances of this thing happening? Probability, though, basic probability is a numerical value that measures the likelihood that an event will occur. Probability can be written in three ways. It could be written as let me make that smaller. It can be written as a simplified fraction, or it could be written as a decimal, or it could be written as a percent. There's two types of probability. There's theoretical and experimental. Theoretical probability, let me move that over so you can see it better. Theoretical probability is the probability that is expected to happen. So it's what should happen if the world was perfect. For example, if you flipped a coin 100 times, because there's two ways you could flip a coin, either heads or tails, and they're equally likely. So if you flipped it 100 times, you would expect to get 50 heads and 50 tails. But as you know, that doesn't always happen. So theoretical is in a perfect world, what would it look like if everything, the numbers all worked out correctly? Then there's experimental. Experimental's keyword is experiment. Experimental probability is the probability when it actually occurs. So you actually do the experiment. So you would actually flip the coins if you were talking about coin flipping. Probability has to be a number between 0 and 1. If the probability event is a 1, that means that the event is always going to happen. So it will have to happen, like the sun will come up tomorrow, that's certain. So the word, which I just said, the word is certain. So if a probability is always going to happen, the vocab word is that it is a certain thing. But then the opposite of that, if the probability is 0, then that event will never happen. So it is never going to happen. And that is impossible. So there are other words that mean certain or impossible, but in probability, certain or impossible are the two that we work with. And then there's in between. So notice that this is the probability spectrum. It's written in decimals and percents. So you can see impossible is 0. Unlikely is in between impossible and equally likely. So unlikely is all the things that are in between there. Equally likely would be that 50-50 chance, like flipping a coin or like being born a male or a female. And then likely is more than 50%, but not 100%. So that means it is probably going to happen, but there's a chance that it will not. So here's our first example. It says, describe the likelihood of an event given the probability that it'll rain tomorrow is 40%. So 40%, that's less than 50. So I know that that one is unlikely. Now try the next 3 questions. Check them with your Edpuzzle video, and then you're going to do the practice problems that are on the back of your notes worksheet. Come on, pause.